up in game one. We'll see if he'll continue his all-in tendencies going into group or into set 2 of this group. Classic looking like he might be able to keep his composure here. Remember, he is the defending champion. A loss here would be a huge upset.
It'd be devastating for him at this, just in the group stages. You know, he's waiting to get further out. He wants to get to the round of 8. HyuN, though, he's looking primed to deal with him.
Yeah, already a great start.
Coda, the next map. Let's see what HyuN's got planned. I know HyuN's got one more trick up his sleeve. We'll see if he tries to use it on this map.
That we will see. The map is starting. It's loading here. Let's go into game number 2.
Push it.
Down here in the bottom right, in red, down 0-1. It's Classic, the defending champion.
Gonna have to rally after that kind of all-in cheese that he suffered in game 1. And up here in the top left, we do have the Zerg player up a game, looking to create a bit of an upset. It's HyuN from Team Rocat. I really like that proxy hatchery build he used.
Yeah.
I don't know what you can really do on this kind of map, though. This is a much harder map to try and get away with something like that.
Sure.
Classic does love his low, pylons on the ramp of the natural, though, so there's always potential. But this map, there is a ramp there, so it makes things like spine crawlers and trying to bust down the front a little bit harder. He didn't put a spine crawler down. I guess he didn't really have to in that game, though.
Yeah, his first lings got through, then the second lings got through, and then that was basically it.
It was just like a snowball. Sort of a fence from there, and look at that, a forge going to be going down this time around.
Meanwhile, here comes the HyuN from Proxy Moon. It's like the two of us together, Proxy Wolf and Moonblade.
I like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, good quick forge here. They're discussing strats. Like, nah, I don't think he's going to cannon
rush.
Nah.
Is he? Is he really? No, he'll just fake it, force those drones down. Most likely, is the meta in today's. Cannon rush. He throws down the pylon, and it's like, okay, all right, I'll take that. I'll bring down a couple more drones.
You know, he's not even doing it actually. I think he's like just totally ignoring this, which could be scary.
Wow.
Okay, now he's bringing them down just a little bit later.
Yeah, it's like, is he gonna actually finish this pylon? He does. It's like, okay, all right.
Pushing this back. A lot of drones coming down here, actually, just for safety's sake.
A little bit of mistake with that probe, actually, in the natural there.
Yeah.
He wanted to, he started mining with it, and it actually auto-mined back to the main base, so he couldn't put it down in decent timing. A little bit later than he'd like. But still, he did some pretty decent economic damage, forcing 6 drones down there.
Yeah, I'm just going to check the pool timing now on the gases. There was some discussion in the makeup room, myself and Kata, about, and HyuN as well was in there with us, and we're talking about, like, where does the 3-headed dog come from, you know? How did you come up with that as, like, your icon? Because it hasn't really shown us anything quite like that. It's not like those things that stands out, you know, like some of the other players play, like, I don't know, Blink logo for Hero or something like that.
Certainly, yeah.
And Kanata said he thought it was because it was like HyuN evolved like a Pokemon into the final stage, but it's actually not. It's the Cerberus, like it's like the Greek god that like guards the underworld to keep the dead inside and the living out.
She's like the gatekeeper or something.
So that's really cool. It was really cool to hear that.
Yeah, that's actually amazing. I actually really like that a lot.
It really suits him, I feel, because these players who don't take him seriously just don't make it, man.
They don't, man. And Classic, you know, he's one game away from being knocked down to the lower bracket because of it. Such a surprise strategy in game 1. Game 2, it's looking pretty normal so far. Nothing really out of the ordinary. No crazy builds yet, but I know HyuN wants to go for a hidden spire at some point. Whether it be this game or the next, he wants to go for Ling Roach Pressure, 1-3 base, into just a proxy spire, you know, with the Overlord out in the middle of the map dropping creep. He wants to throw a spire down there and try for that big switch and try and catch him out.
Yeah, that's something we've seen, you know, every now and then. We saw it in Pro League the other day. And it's something that could really catch a Protoss off guard, because if he's going down one path expecting one thing and you hide the Spire, it's just totally, the responses are totally different for different styles. HyuN is also a player who's not known for his late game in Korea. His mechanics are not as good as someone like Rogue or Life or Biel for that matter. So getting an early win versus such a macro-oriented player like Classic is important.
It certainly is. Yeah, the later the game goes, Classic gets stronger. It's where he's very, very comfortable, especially against Zerg. As we have seen him, you know, even last season in Star League, he really wants to take it as late as he can. He wants to build the army of his dreams and crush anything that can come his way. Like, he's in no hurry to end the game.
Overlord looks like saw that Stargate. Trying to push it away so he doesn't see if it's a Phoenix or an Oracle. It is going to be an Oracle, in fact. And HyuN is making a lot of extra Overlords here, something to point out. And starts that lair. So this could be the first step of that, because he doesn't have a Roach 1 yet. This is going to make some safety spores. Only one, actually. He's got only 3 queens. He's got to be careful.
Yeah, looks like he should have everything up and running by the time that Oracle gets anywhere near his bases there. So he's all very prepared, and he knows, okay, from here, I can just drone up. I have all the time in the world. And Oracle kind of means, like, most likely, and most often occasions, it's going to be a third base behind it. Because of how good the Oracle is at scouting and defending and killing Zerglings, it's very hard for the Zerg to get over there and try and cancel it.
The Zealot even saw, or rather the Link saw the Zealot come over to push it away, which is a big tell that there's going to be a third Nexus.
Yeah.
This Oracle should do very minimal damage, like maybe 4 drones at best.
It's always the transferring drones that get it.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but it's true. Only 3 there, you know, it's not too much.
Yeah. But good scouting again, and more of a defensive tool more than anything else. I mean, the kills that you get with this is often a bonus. Hydralisk down.
All right, so maybe it's not going to be this game. Maybe he's going to be planning for game number 3 here.
Something,
if he gets to it.
Something else you can do is if you get ahead with your Hydralisk and you like do a decent amount of damage, then you could switch to Mutalisk.
That's true. That's true. It's we do see, you know, often like a lot of Zerg players will try. Wow, was that a quick 4th base even? That's surprising. HyuN is actually playing maximum greed, throwing a drone down like there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It also gives us the impression that he wants to go for like Hive Tech.
Yeah, perhaps, you know, quick Vipers, which is going to be appropriate versus the Colossus Tech. Colossus Tech is something that we don't see most players going for anymore. It's coming back to the meta a little bit, slowly over time, but it was kind of phased out when Swarmhosts were phased out because Blink was more mobile, and you can see so many different timing pushes with that.
It's kind of a gateway to Templar in the late game as well. Like, it's like, okay, I got 2, 3 Colossus. No Zerglings or Hydras are going to really fight my army now. So now I have the time to transition into Templar and make that late game army that's going to dominate everything, except, you know, when the Zerg finally transition themselves and goes into Broodlord or Ultralisk.
Yeah, I think it's really good against what HyuN is doing, though. And, oh, he's going to lose this Oracle. This is a bit aggressive. A bit strange to do that when he had the Observer there, but either way, you know, he's chrono boosting hard. Notice the Observer keeps consistently showing us he's chrono boosting the Colossi in the range. He wants those 2 things out faster than anything else. He has enough sentries and enough zealots to buy time if a big Hydra push was coming like right now. And by the time any attacks get there, he's going to have several Colossi with range. I don't think HyuN is going to be able to find any damage here.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of just a pressure from HyuN. We do see that Spire on the way, that 4th base coming up now. Really, the Zerg wants to be on 4 bases. Trying to be like around this time of the game or maybe a little bit later. They want 8 gases as the key for tech switches, for tier 3. They have to have that. If they don't have that in the late game, they just don't have the economy to try and fight the Protoss and their death ball.
We see preemptive Stargates here. Can you check the vision and see if Classic actually saw the Spire? Because I'm curious about that. Actually, he's going Void Rays, so I doubt it. But he's going into 3 Stargate play here.
He sees the Spire, so he knows that the option is out there. I think he will go into a hard Phoenix counter if he sees Mutas on the map.
The Void Rays here might be a preemptive answer to Corruptors trying to deal with his Colossi as well. Which would be, this is not really currently in the meta. It's more using Vipers in most cases with ground units like these Hydras, but still, there's no Hive just yet, and he sees that, so he might be thinking to himself, like, okay, this is the moment where I can use these to deal with the Corruptors.
Right.
A big Ling swell to follow up this Hydralisk push.
This is interesting. Now, this is very interesting because considering how late it is, this is a 12-minute timing, if it is a timing. And it's going to be Colossus available. There's a lot of units, a lot of gateway units, but not a lot of units to buffer for it. So I don't exactly know how he plans to get in there. Maybe he's hoping for the best sort of concave. A little bit of lag.
Yeah, we might actually get a PP here, no doubt.
Possibly, yeah.
Because this is like the most important moment in the game. Like,
it really is. But we'll see. You know, this looks like it's settled for now, so it's
that was stressing me out.
Oh man, 4 zealots at this time. It's gonna kind of put everything out of position for at least a lot of these units. Here we go. Pressure on the third base.
Ling's getting decent surface area on that Nexus, and the Hydras have it free reign back there. However, once the Colossi arrive, he's got to get out of there. And I don't know, man. This is not looking good. He's switching to Mutalisk now.
Switching to Mutalisk, but with that tech available, with that production available for Classic, he has all the means to hard counter it the moment he sees it. And
he's got the bank to do so as well. He's at 400, 500 right now approximately, and that's going to allow him to make triple Phoenixes easily. He can hold off what he has right now with the stalker count that he has. The Colossi push those Hydras back, and you know, Classic should be able to sit pretty here. Identifying the first wave of Mutalisks is important, though, because he's still making 3 Void Rays, for example, right now because he doesn't know. He hasn't seen them yet.
Yeah.
And that first wave could do a little bit of probe damage.
Yeah, it could do just enough damage, you know. With this amount of meters, it's not too all-in. It's not much of an investment compared to what it could be. So 10 meters come in, do the probe damage. You tech from there. You go Ultras, you go Brutals, you find the next answer.
Here it is. That damage, man. It's already happening.
Great momentum here. He's
going to get like 12 kills here, so...
Oh, yeah.
Maybe even more than that. Ooh, turns around as soon as he sees those Void Rays.
10 probes, and there's the Phoenix switch. So we are going to see 3 Phoenix at a time come out here. And it's going to be up to HyuN. How much does he want to commit to this? 7 more mutas on the way. He doesn't know the kind of infrastructure the Classic has right now.
Yeah. He's going to get a good idea in a moment, but even still, even with that infrastructure, the Phoenixes are not ready yet. They need time, so he can continue to pressure with these, and he's going to see that infrastructure now and go, okay, this is definitely something I probably don't want to super commit to, although he is actually starting more Mutalisks behind this.
He got the Mothership. That's very nice. Mothership 4, shutting it down. It's going to mean no recall available, no more photon overcharges for a little while.
Fleet Beacon coming up, and Corruptors as well.
So they are both planning to go for that late game mass air army.
It's going to be a fight for air superiority. Now, keep in mind that HyuN does have a 4th base. It lost a lot of workers, so he's very worker light at 69. But he's getting a 5th base. And these Mutalisks are going to give him a bit of map control for now because the Phoenix count isn't ready yet. He's got 8. He's starting to get enough to where he can maybe think about pushing across the map. But anytime he moves across the map and the Mutalisks see that, he can backstab and kill a lot of probes. So this is a good moment. I feel like Classic probably wants to take a 4th base pretty soon. Probably the one right next to his main.
He will certainly need to, yeah. If he's going to try and support like 3 Stargate Phoenix for this long, as well as get upgrades and maintain a decent ground army, he's going to have to. He's going to have to try and keep on par, or at least only 1 base behind the Zoe, because I mean he's going to be about 2 bases behind in a second here. It's going to be 10 gas versus 6, and Protoss is so gas heavy as well.
Yeah, I mean he's getting, you know, Anion Pulse Crystals, Triple Phoenix, like you said, the +2 for air. But this is not an engagement I feel HyuN should take.
No, certainly not. This is going to mean he's going to shave off a lot of his Hydras, a lot of his ground units, but his mutas are getting shaved off as well because those Corruptors are too busy fighting the Void Rays.
And there's so many cannons here as well on the ground to help support against everything. And this army just gets totally annihilated. Now he's got a decent bank. The question is what he's going to make with that. 14 Corruptors and 68 Lings is the answer.
Well, I guess it's gonna help out against the Phoenix, going to help out against the Colossus. And the ground army is pretty small for Classic right now, so maybe he can try and overwhelm it.
Yeah, he doesn't have Blink. Yeah, he's got like a small stalker count, but even Phoenixes can deal with small groups of Hydras. Well, it's not even a small group, it's just there's so many Phoenixes that they can deal with those Hydras pretty effectively.
Well, huge remax from HyuN there. Well, not really maxed out yet. They're kind of even in supply at this point. But HyuN holding on barely. He's got to try and defend against this as the Zealots deal with the 4th base.
Ooh, that's important because, you know, he used a huge amount of his bank, Classic did, to send these Zealots over here. If they didn't kill that base, if they had been cleaned up, it would have been a big problem. Because, again, Classic still doesn't have a 4th base. His main base is pretty much dried up as natural. Doesn't have too much left either. So taking a 4th base is becoming more and more important as time goes on. And, you know, yeah, he did lose his 5th, HyuN did, but he's got that 4th, which is technically his 5th, you know, next to his natural. He's got that base up and mining.
I'm always on the fence about how I should call these bases because it is the 5th of the newer base. So I guess it's his new 4th base.
Yeah.
Be going for a 5th in the top right now. Very confusing stuff.
But it's like in general, he now has 4 bases, so it's like his most recent base, and then that's survived. So
yeah,
it's hard to call. It's hard to call it.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out at one point.
People have been commentating Starcraft 2 for like 5 years, but we still don't really know the best way.
Well, here we go. A lot of Lings trying to get in here. They cannot fight there. Not with that many Colossus.
Yeah, but if he can try to zone these Corruptors out, or rather zone these Colossi out, it could be good. There's just so many Void Rays that I'm really concerned.
Yeah, that's actually too many for him to fight right now. He does have a lot of Corruptors, 14 so far, but with everything else that's going to be shooting at them, there's no way he can really have a good fight.
Well, this base is the third for sure. We know that much, but it might not be for much longer. Okay, he does bring some Hydras back and all of his Lings.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, he's losing a few drones here. But the thing that HyuN has to remember is that Classic is on 3 base. He's constantly making this army on 3 bases. He's nearly all in because of this. He's not really transitioning later on. He's not trying to build an economy beyond this. He wants to kill. So HyuN has to hold on for as best as he can. If he can deal with these Colossus with his Corruptors, he'd be in a great place.
All right, just a huge fight here. The Void Rays using a prismatic alignment. The Hydras get force field at the back. And if all the Corruptors fall, the Colossi will deal with this army easily. Even it's only 1 Colossus left here, it looks like. It's just doing so much extra damage here to everything on the ground. And HyuN's army is melting.
Yeah, this is way too much damage. Now the Phoenix can pick up the rest of the army, and it's just a steamroll from here. GG.
35 kills on that 1 Colossus at the back. Just showing how much work 1 Colossus with force fields and other zoning units can really be. When you fight with force fields with your Hydras, Hydras are not really the answer to the Void Rays at that moment, because the Void Rays stack on top of each other, and they have this range right over those force fields, so that they can actually do max amount of damage to single targets, and they stack differently than, say, Stalkers, because Stalkers, you can't have 6 Stalkers on top of each other doing single target damage because they have to fan out. But if you look at like a Void Ray, in that particular moment, it does decently against anything it's fighting, basically. Any range unit. It's dealing with the Corruptors or it's dealing with the Colossi, it gets that stack. You don't have Infestors, you don't have any other sort of answer for that. And the Lings can't overwhelm the Stalkers with force fields like that in Colossi.
It really is a bad place. It's not really how you fight Colossi in that sort of situation, but HyuN kind of ran out of options at that point.
Yeah, it was either fight there or give up one of his most important mining bases.
Yeah, he had to go for a surround with those things. You never want to stack up like that against such AoE. But, you know, I think HyuN was looking at that game, was like, okay, it's not the game I wanted. It's not the map I wanted on. Now we got another chance here. It's going to be Vani Research Station.